just playing. What up, guys? Welcome back to the Gene Pool. We're gonna talk about some cool shit or not. Um, a lot's happened in the last few months. We just kicked off our first psilocybin cup. We actually did it. Tiny little Discord full of hobby growers. We made our own cup. I don't want to give away any secrets, but we couldn't have done it without these guys over at Trip Labs. Mad props to Jordan Jacobs. You guys should check him out. Follow his Instagram. He's a super cool human being, and I don't know. We couldn't have made it happen without him. It was a monumental feat trying to keep everybody anonymous, get the samples intact to him, get our testing and our numbers. Um, we had to be so anonymous that even the lab themselves, they had no idea what they were testing but a sample ID number. And we're working so hard to dial it in. And sounds like we just might do it again next spring. So you got plenty of time to be working on, your pet projects. We had first place in the Spring Cup was our friend Hash. He running the Ghostface Killa. He just narrowly beat Jick Fibbs in his Flipper project. It was a double swab project by one of my good friends and our core family members here in the gene pool. He goes by the name Hash, hailing from the Myco House, the Mycelium, and our very own mushroom cult. You probably never heard of the guy. He's not out chasing clout online or making paper vending swabs. You can usually find him in the Discord talking about his projects, sharing his projects, or just helping folks get on the right path to their own success. I'm pretty sure Hash has donated at least 200 pairs of swabs in the last year to the cult. We're truly blessed to have this guy on our team. So,
Hey,
what
thanks for the
up,
nice welcome.
Hash?
What's up?
So, we finally got you on here. We're going to talk about this Ghostface Killer.
I'm excited.
So, start from the beginning, man. Where'd the inspiration come for this project?
I wasn't really thinking about like trying to make anything specific. I was growing Ghost and Makilla at the same time, and they came out on the same day, and I decided to swap them and put them together. Um, I guess I got real lucky when I made my little. 'Cause I remember making two plates, and usually that's what I do. I make a streak plate and a dunk plate, and I forget which one it was that I transferred out of, but I must have got real lucky because when I grew them out, they grew out like a lot different than both of them. They didn't look like Maquilas, which are tall and brown, and they didn't look like Ghost, which are short and albino, white. It was kind of a mix of both. They kind of looked like albino Maquillas when they first came out. So, and as far as the name goes, the name kind of writes itself. I was thinking, well, what am I going to call this? It's Ghost and Makilla, and that was really the first thing that came to mind is Ghost Face Killa.
Wu Tang.
Yeah,
So,
it's
I saw some of your first
it's been really
tubs.
fun.
They were throwing all sorts of phenotypes. You were getting pigmented and albino in the same tubs. That looked cool as shit.
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious you had something going on there, but there was so much going on in those tubs. What was your thought process like on your first selections? Did you even know what you wanted to swab?
Um, Honestly, for the swabs, I really just picked the biggest one that had opened up, and actually, the first flush that came out, I swabbed them, but they didn't germ. The second flush, I swabbed them, and those didn't germ either. And wasn't until the third flush that I was like, you know what, I want to get this to continue on. So I waited for them to get soft, ripe, and open up real big, and swabbed those, and they that one germed. So it was actually It's pretty tough trying to get swabs. I mean, spores out of them the first couple times.
Yeah, I'm wondering if any
But
of the swabs I got are worth a shit.
oh, dude, I'm wondering the same thing. I'm actually in the process of well, this last one I did, I swabbed a bunch of them, and I've been every time I take swabs, I've been putting them on agar just to make sure that they'll germ. Um, so far, it's been pretty good. So I have some faith that what's coming out will germ for people.
We did drop like a dozen pairs of them in the last giveaway. I'm pretty sure I sent out a bunch of the F1 swabs.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's exciting. I mean, I remember somebody had grown them out, and it was exciting to see them coming out of somebody else's tubs.
oh yeah, that was 2 chains.
Yeah,
He ate some and he said he cried.
I didn't know
he
that.
he was like, I ate 2 grams and I cried. Like I knew you were gonna win when he said that. I was like, oh shit, really? They're like that. So what's your plans on releasing them, man? Is it F3 or F4 you're on to now? F3?
It's going to be F3. And as far as releasing them, I really just want to do them as a giveaway. Um, I mean, a grow along, and just give them out to people, see what everybody comes up with on F3.
That's gonna be awesome. Is that what you sent me?
I can't wait. Um, that's what I will be sending you. I haven't sent those out yet.
Well, I'll help you start cracking off some swabs, man.
Awesome.
What else are you working on?
Um, I have, well, I'm calling them snails, but they're AMVPs. And actually, it was you that had sent out the original swabs for those early last year. It's probably been I don't know, like 14, 15 months since I got them. And uh, those are really interesting. I'm really excited to see how they come out. Like I said, I've been calling them snails because they look like snail shells to me, or at least they did when I cloned them after the first run. They
The
but this most recent one I did, it just came out like a couple weeks ago. They've been looking crazy. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the pictures I've been posting on the
yeah,
Discord.
the pattern on those is something else, dude. That is straight a DMT trip. Fucking fractals. Like I don't know. Like
Somebody had somebody had mentioned that I don't know if you guys know, like when you're tripping, there's a certain pattern that you guys see. That's uh, at least for me, I see it behind
absolutely,
everything,
absolutely.
and that's what they look like. They have that weird pattern. I don't even know what to call it really.
Are you gonna eat them?
I plan to. I wanted to eat them. I wanted to eat them this weekend, but I've just been real busy. But I'm going camping in a couple weeks, and so I plan to eat them. I actually have the ones that I wanted to eat like set aside, just waiting for them.
Yeah, those are awesome.
There was the one I wanted to eat because I grew a few trays of them. I grew them in clone trays, and I just been kind of peeking at them. They're up on like a higher up shelf, so I can't really see them as I walk through the my little fruiting area. And uh, I peeked into it one day, and they were ready. And there was this one, it was like a puffball that had that pattern on it, and it looked like there was words on it. I took a picture, and I swear it said God on them, and I'm like, no way, I gotta fucking eat this one. This is the one I'm gonna eat.
Dude, that's
So I got
awesome.
that one.
You're kind of
Yeah,
breaking up on us. I think your connection's a little crappy right now, Hash.
hold on, let me see if I can.
But we are gonna do a grow along with the Ghostface F3, and that one's gonna be really sweet. and it's definitely going to be Discord fam first. So if you're listening on Twitch or on the Facebook, like we love you, but Discord fam. I wish Jake showed up. I'm gonna have to bother him right now because Flipper took second place, and I'm twisting his arm about dropping 100 pairs for a grow along. I told him, "You ain't even got to do the work. Just give me some, and I'll make 100 pairs. Let's go." But we also have our friend Sarek in the house. Um, this is really cool shit. You with us, Sarek?
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, this Sun Coast. You ran it in the cup.
Yeah, yeah. I ran that, and that's something I started a few years ago, back in May of 2020. And I was just looking for a way to get some mushrooms, and I had moved recently, and was like, I guess I gotta start looking around and do some research, and came into contact with somebody that I'd known for some time, and they instructed me on how to grow a certain way, the way that they grew back then. And this was to take a wild cow patty and to put it in a fish tank with a certain setup.
Like
Uh,
you took it home, like the whole thing.
right, right. Actually, I took several home, but yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah. I kind of went out there with a little cardboard box and a plastic bag. I didn't really want to touch the cow patty with my bare hand, but you yeah, I took it home, and that the setup that I put it in, and that I was a sort of instructor on how to make, was to add some, like, a layer of water in the bottom along with some bedrock. And then on the underside of the fish tank, you would add a reptile heating pad. And so that heat will generate, some humidity from the water. Every few days you'd have to add a little bit of water, make sure it doesn't go dry or anything. But yeah, it worked pretty well. Created a lot of humidity. Um, I think it only took like a week and a half to 2 weeks from putting that patty in there to make some kind of good looking fruits.
That's crazy. And
Yeah.
what were they already fruiting when you found the patties, or were you just gambling? Did you just grab some cow poop and throw it in a tub?
Right. So actually, I had tried the gamble method before this, just to see if this setting would work, and it did. And I grew some like weird pans things that were not active. I should have taken pictures of it, but I was like, oh, these aren't active. I don't really care. But when I went out to get those patties, I did look for those cubensis, and after I found them, I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick these, and I'll save those patties and take those home because they're already identified.
That's awesome. And then, so you've been running these wild ones. Um, I don't want to dox you. You can you say your state?
Right, right. But Florida, sun coast of Florida is kind of where I went out to grab them. Right. So the the name kind of came about because I had grown Treasure Coast before, and then I did some shroomery reading, and was like, okay, I guess this guy found it near the Treasure Coast of Florida, so I'm just gonna copy what he did, called Sun Coast, because that's where I found mine.
That's awesome. Have you shared them with anybody? Like, you got a real land race on your hands.
Yeah, yeah. So it was growing kind of normal for a couple of years, and then May of last year, it kind of grew a little funky. Grew some fruits that looked different and tasted a little different. You know what I mean? And a couple months after that, I had grown some F1 spores, and was like, okay, these are kind of continuing to do funky stuff. So October of last year is when I sent some spores over to gerbils, and he ran those spores specifically and got sort of another mixed weird tub that was sort of kind of doing the same thing, throwing some funky fruits. So that was kind of reassuring. I was like, okay, I think maybe I have something here that's different. That's going to continue. And then he grew another generation from that, and it was a mix of like these reverted fruits. So they started dropping spores again, and then some pigmentation was a little off. There was like some leucistic fruits and something that may have been albino, but he didn't have a scope at the time, so we couldn't really check for sure. Uh, but it was really exciting, and he sent those back, and I'm really thankful for that because after growing my first generation of those spores that he sent me, of those reverts, I had like a mix of what were for sure albinos and for sure leucistics, and then regular pigmented spores, all on one little cake, which blew my fucking mind because I've never had that before.
That's awesome, dude. So you've got Florida Wild Leucistic, and Florida Wild Albino.
Right, right. And like the Suncoast thing, those are still just like weird fruits that don't really drop spores, and some of the fruits kind of look like penis envy. Others have like a almost like a ghostish style cap, but with like a normal cubensis stipe. Little weird sometimes. I think they need some work because there's a lot of variability, you know.
We'll have to get you to photo dump in the Discord after
Yeah,
this.
I've definitely had some weird fruits pop up, especially during like the F1 and 2 stages.
And then you cross the Suncoast with Natalensis.
Right. Actually, use those revert spores, the same ones that I just got from gerbils, and I ran those to get those the albinos and leucistics and stuff. And then I took the monokaryons that I got from those germination plates, and I mated those with some natalensis monokaryons that I recently got germinated myself.
Those are the ones
And
you ran in the cup.
let's see, the reverts I think gerbils had submitted, and the ones that I submitted I think were F2s. I want to say. Yeah, I think they were F2s from the Suncoast when it sort of mutated from that lineage. So whenever it originally had that mutation, it was probably about 7 spore generations in from the wild. And then I think the stuff that I submitted to Trip Labs, that was probably, yeah, 2 generations from that. So technically 9 generations from the wild, from that, original cow patty that I collected.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. One hell of a project working from a wild spore that you brought home cow shit and grew out of. Like, that's rad as hell, dude. When you told me that the other day, I was like, no way. That is the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I didn't know it was like an old thing that people actually kind of used to do. I'm just like, oh yeah, whatever he says. And then I look it up on the Shroomer, and it's like, oh yeah, people did used to do that stuff back then. It's kind of weird.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
It's basically what it came down to. Yeah.
So I don't think Jake's showing up. That's cool. We're gonna get him on to talk about Flipper, anyways. And if y'all want to jump in, you're more than welcome to. Because I'm all out of questions for these gentlemen. When can I get those snails?
Yeah.
Is
I
Sackman
understand.
still awake?
Yes, sir.
What time is it in Pakistan?
It's 6:36 a.m.
What you growing in Pakistan, homie?
I got some. I got 2 tubs of GTs going on. I got a tub of Nutcracker. I got a tub of Wombat Tat. I got 2 jars of Amex running. Johan's letter just came. I'm surprised. An untracked mail came, and it's full of great shit. It's got Nats. It has Ape. It has Blackhawk F6. It has Mjolnir. It's got
Yeah,
Shakti.
shout out to Johan.
Yeah, shout out to you. I have no clue what he did, but it did reach. The first time he sent some, they never came. But this time they actually did, and I'm pretty happy. I got a lot of shit.
I've been having such bad luck with sending spores international.
Dude, I've
I've
landed
been
them.
I've been
I've landed
having
them
bad luck
everywhere
with getting
but
it.
Pakistan.
Yeah, so many folks have sent me so much stuff. It never comes. Acid always comes, but like spores for some fucking reason
Pakistan
never
Customs
comes.
has my last holographic Jack Frost sticker.
Holy fuck!
Speaking, well, speaking of customs, don't they have Flipper?
Yeah, they got Flipper. They got super early Flipper. They have I think early snails as well. Maybe.
Yo, like Pakistan's customs has like a full-on genetic library that people would kill for right now.
Yeah, the wedge of agar with like AMBP, I think the one that Cat sent to Hash, and which then gave snails. So I got the OG culture right here in the customs.
This is some bullshit, man.
That's right.
Yeah,
I do
yeah,
remember sending that to you.
yeah. They better be fucking growing them because I'd be sad.
Could you imagine there's like one customs guy that's actually been like stealing your spores and has been like growing them behind your
No, he's probably running a
Money.
fucking spore website, dude.
back?
Yeah, he's gonna make a lot of money. He can literally be one of the biggest vendors if he wants. But he's just like I don't. So many spores have been sent to him. Cat I think sent like 3 or 2 times, and it never came. I think yeah, it was around 3. But I guess it is what it is. I still got him.
If you want to send shit to SAC, you have to bounce it to somebody who can send it and actually write on the custom shit that it's spores. I can't.
Yeah, shout out to Dave Wombat.
Yeah, yes. Make Dave send it to SAC.
I mean, the other option, and this is how a package got sent to me internationally, and this is just for research purposes. I do not condone any of these actions, but you can just send a box filled with, snacks and, slip a couple of swabs in there. And then on the customs forms, you just say, hey, this is just a box of fucking snacks. Just
Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal. They won't do anything about it, but they're just like, since it's like not a letter inside a letter, they're like, fuck it.
you know, I had a friend of mine recently send me some great European chocolates, and what do you know? I got some spore swabs with my little care package.
Damn, bonus. So
Yeah,
I
like
had a
homie.
question for Ash.
What's up?
Yeah, so remember how you were working on Ghostface early, and they had that Mac look to them, Makila look to them, and
Yeah.
I, I remember us talking about some folks having those and them preferring the Ghost, and then now it's fucking showing what 1.9. That is fucking wild. So how did you see the phenos and think that I might get an extra punch out of these. I might get an extra punch out of these. So how was that
You
journey from
know, like
coming to the Mac Pheno to what it is now?
I to be quite honest, I don't know. I guess I just picked the right ones. Um, when I was picking out the fruits to send in for my sample for the spring cup, I was just like, all right, I'm gonna pick the prettiest ones, and that was really it. I just picked
Yeah, I
whatever
mean,
whatever I thought looked
wow.
good.
Because I remember seeing some of the other cups held by other folks. I saw Ghost at around 13, which is equal to I think 1.9 or 1.3. So
One point three.
your
Okay.
yeah, so your Ghostface class showed a lot of alkaloids, man. Holy fuck.
I mean, I don't even really know. I thought Ghost was pretty up there, like closer to 2. I know Makilla isn't up that high. Maybe it's closer to 1.2 is what I've
Yeah,
seen, or 1.4. So it's, yeah, it is pretty crazy that it tested so high.
It's got that
yeah,
ghost
damn.
in it, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's that Ghost. I think that's what it is.
It
damn.
makes me happy to see more Ghost crosses coming out. I feel like Ghost is slept on for whatever reason.
It's all because Hash knows how to grow mushrooms, dude. It has nothing to do with the strains.
Yeah, hash is the shit.
I always thought people didn't grow ghosts because they were small.
Yeah, it's a bitch to fucking harvest,
I
dude.
can speak from experience, bud. My girlfriend tells me small is fine, all right?
I mean, yeah, no, that's not wrong. Ghost is like, it's terrible to harvest. I'll be sitting there for an hour just picking at them one at a time, and it grows so dense. Like the way that it tins, it's just, it covers the surface, and they're so tiny, or they can be so tiny.
And then trying to
Yeah,
swab them is just the biggest pain in the ass too. You basically gotta mutilate the mushroom in order to get to the gills.
I got some of that
Oh yeah.
swamp ghost and blue ghost from Leamington Labs. He sent me some plates, but I let a couple of them grow out, and yeah, they got super big. I thought they were going to be like super small, but they were super big on the
I had a
plate.
run of ghosts for that. I had a run of ghosts last year that they gave some pretty big fruit. I'm trying to find the picture. But they were pretty big. They were like 30-gram size fruits
Oh,
Wow.
that's
off
pretty
of a
nice.
ghost.
And it's still
Let's see if I can
tiny.
find them.
Like 30 grams, and it's still tiny.
I got some of that Phantom. It's either Phantom or Ghost Cadaver sent me. He sent me both of them, but I didn't like label things, and so one of the two. Be ready soon.
Run it.
I just experimented
If
with
you guys had only 4 strains, sorry, or varieties to cultivate for a shop, what would they be?
Like, I'm working a commercial, like, store.
Yeah, I only ask because I've been in talks with the commercial space, and they're in like the decriminalized zone, and they're kind of the town's kind of open to the whole situation. So, yeah, uh, I'm pretty much like looking at 4 things,
hey,
and
send me a bunch.
so I don't know which 4 strains like would you pick? Would you pick 4 strong things, or would you pick one like medium, one like
Variety for
little
sure, dude.
weaker
You want a variety.
variety?
Because you don't want everyone just getting fucking blasted, dude. You want, like, a little bit of everything for everybody, bro. Like, some people just like to take some mushrooms and go on a fucking hike, and then drive home. They don't want to go fucking see Jesus.
Yeah, they don't want to get butt naked in the woods.
I
But
mean, you can
sometimes
do
it's
that.
fun
You
to
can do
see
that on
Jesus.
anything, really, dude. At least I do it. I
Mhm.
do it sober as shit. I'm
Well, that's
kicked out of
good
Chuck E. Cheese for
variety.
that reason.
Yeah, I would go
For,
like have a
for the
landrace, have
for the ABC, would you stay away from like the well known like the GT and the B plus, or would you just do the GT and the B plus just to be
Do some
like,
albinos, some pretty albinos, maybe one brown cap, but like I do some pretty albinos. Albinos, everyone sees albino and they're like, "Oh, that's pretty,"
If
and
you
they just want it.
if you were running a legal storefront, like a commercial space selling mushrooms, you'd absolutely want to have golden teachers, dude. Like,
Yeah.
You can do any fucking brown cap and call it golden teachers, dude.
well, any fucking brown cap is golden teachers, right?
Mind you, they are going to be in chocolate form.
Yeah, all right, then they won't even notice. But yeah, I'd probably do like a golden teacher is like just your basic entry level, and then probably you'd obviously have like an 8 or something as like your end game shit.
But all
Can
these
they
I don't even
not
have
Shadowlands is
golden
that too.
teachers.
probably calculate, because if we're having higher concentrations, then we can make more chocolate.
I don't know. I don't live in any legal space. Uh,
I got a
Van,
question for you,
listen,
Cad.
Van does. What up?
How did Phantom come about?
It's well, Philly Golden Teacher. He sent me this print that was just he called it Vapor. It was blue albino penis envy revert, but it was really blobby, but it was blue, and it was kind of dope. I just ran it, and I was chasing these Liu Kang hats, like really pointy hats, and it had this like scaly. Certain fruits would be really scaly. They'd have like this dragon scale on them and a really thick veil, like the one you see in like fantasy novels, you know. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's what I was chasing, so I just kept swabbing it, and it's been a fun project. And
Yeah.
they're wicked. I don't eat them.
I've heard and here's the thing: your Vapor is the only one that's actually blue. I've seen so many Vapor grows, and they end up just looking like regular leucistic fruits. I see your canopy tubs, and they're actually blue, and God, I appreciate that.
Well, I don't use any like broccoli filters either. Like
Yeah.
the trick is to just I don't know. I'm not a fucking geneticist or nothing. I am nowhere near an expert, but I've just been swabbing the ones I like, you know, and then
Yeah.
you swab the next one you like, and it's been working out pretty well.
That's how I got a canopy of blue meanies. I didn't clone the cluster. I swabbed the cluster. Well, I didn't swab. I took a print of like the biggest one in the cluster, and then I did a spore run of that, and all of a sudden I had a full canopy.
Damn.
I want to see more of these snails.
I love snails.
Yeah.
Dude, I've been getting nothing but
Pretty
penis
cool.
envy snails.
Oh,
You should clone them. See if they come out. If they repeat again.
It's always the first flesh. So whenever I do the Goliath penis envy, first flesh is always snails, lots of blobs, really big, beautiful blobs, and then after I clear everything off, it just does like a regular flush of no blobs and just big dick fruits.
Hey, Van's in here.
What's up, Van?
Dude, what's up? What have you been up to? Tell us some stuff.
My boat. Dealing with contaminated coir and nightmare ships, to be honest with
Oh no.
This Van guy.
Not contamination.
You should see this guy's outdoor grows. That Van dude, rad as fuck.
you. Let me see if I on this phone.
damn.
Velocity
What-
Kansas and where's my husband?
Jesus Christ, look at that fucking outdoor patch. Whoa.
Yeah, damn.
Oh,
Damn, dude, what the fuck?
that was sick. I remember that.
Holy shit.
That's fucking awesome.
Holy fuck.
Are those
Are those
trays?
just
Yeah, dude.
I'm like,
are
it looks
those
like
just
there's
regular
trays.
cubes?
The first picture is just regular cubes. The second one is azarescens. And then I have
Holy.
another one that's
Damn.
I have that's not a certain thing. That's just spread amongst my front. It's probably 60 by 20 feet.
Only other person I've seen grow wood levers that good is a holofractal.
He gave me the clone.
Oh,
Ah,
really?
Yeah.
so when you're going about growing Azzies, how are you? Because I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people won't inoculate grain because it attracts vermin. But then, what is your medium that you are inoculating? Is basically my question.
I just use grain, hardwood mulch that I bought from a local landscape supplier, which is probably a mixture of everything under the sun, and coir. Nothing special. And the way I keep vermin and stuff like that away is grow more than they can eat.
Yeah, that's
Fair enough.
true.
Fair enough. So basically, you're inoculating grain like as if it was any other thing, and then once whatever is colonized, you add the mulch and the core.
Yeah, I did about a 50-50-ish, I want to say, for that bed. My Lenny I never took, but I have a couple other things I wanted to run this year, but with my Coir being really fucky, like, and when I say it's contaminating, it's literally, I'm hydrating it, and then a couple days later, the whole thing's covered in mold. So
Oh,
with
Oh,
that
wow.
happening, I don't want to, be dumping tons of stuff into it if it's just gonna flop on me.
yeah.
I've been having issues with my wood levers. I have a jar of cyans. I let it get to like 25% on the rye berries, and then I shook it, and it has not bounced back since.
I've been
And
wondering
then
about using other types of substrate or mixtures of such as like hardwood fuel pellets or sawdust substrate, just to not have that happen. I have a couple other species that look just
um
not good on grain, but the second it touches something else, it flies. It's insane.
yeah, because I have the same thing with like this. I have a Lenny as well, a Lenny or whatever, and like it's colonizing, but it's doing it like really really slow. And I'm scared if I shake this shit, it's just gonna. And my friend gave me some really nice liquid culture, like really clean liquid culture, and I squirted a shitload of it into this like jar, and it looks like it's just like giving up. Like, do you put your jars in the fridge or something, or
Just let it sit on a shelf, just like my cubes.
damn, I don't know, maybe some tam got in here or something. Yeah, I've had nothing but bad luck with the wood levers every time I'm trying to do it on like I always do it on rye berries for some reason, and then they always end up not liking the rye berries.
My local source of rye is, I don't even know. Something's wrong with it.
I was having that issue with popcorn for a while. Like for a while, like the popcorn I was doing was like super amazing, super super great, and then out of nowhere, it was just making tub after tub of just like straight booty.
See, whenever people run into stuff like that, it's just switch it up, man, because that had to be my answer after a while. It took me about
Yep,
9 months to figure anything out, and it had to come down to
switch it
me
up.
messaging Bot Eye on the Shroomery. Can I send you like two pie so you can prep it and use one of your cultures on it and see if you can get this to fruit? Because I can't even get it to colonize, man. And he had the same results as me, so it wasn't a me thing, it was a grain thing. And I don't know. I still don't have an answer for why
You think it's
that's
something like as
with
shitty
sucks.
as a bad shipment of grain that's still covered in fucking, fungicide?
That's exactly what we were thinking, was like BTI or something like that, because it is used worldwide in grain storage facilities to for fungus and stuff like that.
Yeah, see, I always get the hippie all organic non GMO stuff. I know it costs a little more, but Would you not get that problem with that, or would you
I would
still?
say I would say food grade is the best way to go, like human grade food grade,
Yes.
not
Yeah, kind of like
like
popcorn you
is
can just buy off the shelf.
yeah, exactly, because that is comes to the highest standards that is applicable for what we do. It's not going to be it's not deer food, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we give
Yeah,
give
yeah,
nothing
it's
deer.
not exactly dirty like wild bird seed is.
Wait, is this
I've had some
son
of
of a
my best
bitch?
grows ever on fucking grocery store wild bird seed, though. Swear to God.
Me too. That's another thing I noticed since I switched to fucking popcorn is that my yields aren't as good.
My
A lot of
dumbass
it has
grabbed
to do
the.
with the different varieties of grains, but I couldn't tell you. That's a little too far for me, especially since I just use single grains now mostly, like sorghum or millet. And keep in
Millet's
mind,
the
this was
king.
8 to 10 years ago that I used like wild bird seed and stuff like that. It's been a long time.
Millet is truly the king. I did penis envy with brown rice, popcorn, ryeberry, and millet, and millet had the best yield, hands down.
Man, I had the roughest time starting out because I just bought a bag of Producer's Pride whole oats, and I got almost to the end of the bag, and I don't think I ever sent a single jar that was completely clean. Like I think every single jar that I ever sent was somewhat bacterial. And then recently I found this bougie feed store that's like an hour away, and they have this like organic millet that's like grown by the Amish and everything. And I decided to do a flash prep, and I got used to like rinsing my grain before even like hydrating it, because that's just how bad the oats were. And I got to rinse this millet, and it's the water's coming out crystal clear. And I could have cried at that moment when I realized I finally have clean grains. And
Yep.
then every single jar that I ran with that millet came out perfect. I was so damn happy after like 6 months of just heartbreak after heartbreak.
It's kind of why I stopped using popcorn, because I called them dirty kernels. You go and hydrate all your corn, and then you lay it out on a sheet to like get all the moisture off and stuff like that. And I'm going through, and I'm like, man, this kernel's fucked up. This kernel's fucked up. This one's split. This one looks grody as fuck. And then I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, if I don't, every time I didn't pick through everything, I got some sort of weird contam, or at least bacteria.
Yeah.
Y'all
And
just
that's
need
the
to get
beauty of the
good.
flash prep too, because
I'll be
like
running Producer's Pride nonstop
you're the
all
only
day, every
one.
day.
Well, I
Y'all
shouldn't
just
say
need to
you're
get
the
good, dude. You, seriously though, you don't have to worry about like weird shit. Like even the grass and all the shitty shit that comes in the Producer's Pride. Like it if it's sterile, it's food, dude. Like for real.
man.
Don't even
I don't
stress
know.
it.
After
Just
this
make it
millet
sterile.
run, I was just like, nope, I'll pay millet prices. I'll pay the millet price because
Have you guys tried wheat?
it was such a pleasure to work with.
I hear a lot of good things about wheat. I don't know if anyone's ever tried it. I haven't tried it.
Tried what?
About wheat,
Oh, wheat.
wheat as your grain.
Oh yeah, I haven't tried it. I because like I think that's around like the millet prices and stuff. And if I'm gonna pay that, I'm just gonna get millet.
Comes down to your local source too. Like I'd much rather use wheat over like sorghum or millet, but again, my local source sucks. And when I'd buy a 50-pound bag, 20 pounds of it's brand. What's the point even? I mean, it's $7 for 50 pounds, but I don't want to sit there and sift through dirty wheat all day.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah, that's been my problem. I can't find wheat uh, reliably anywhere. So I haven't used it.
Whatever's the cleanest process, man. Because I grow food mushrooms too, and I did pink oysters on straw for like a long time, and I fucking hate straw. You could not pay me enough money to do straw.
Are you chemically pasteurizing that straw, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I was doing the I wanted to say chlorine for some fucking reason. I don't know why, but
The
it's
lye.
not the salt or whatever, changing the pH balance of the water.
Yeah, hydrated lime usually,
Hydrated lime. Thank you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Does that really matter all that much?
Yeah. Oh man, that lime. I couldn't even get the correct like lime in my area. Apparently, like back in the day, I like went and took a picture and posted on like a forum, and I'm like, "Is this correct?" And someone's like, "There's too much magnesium in there, so you can't grow anything." And well, I grew mushrooms for a long time using it.
Low key, kind of like the smell of lime.
I do too.
It just goes to show if you have like the right genetics, like your your culture will deal with an awful lot of bullshit. it really will.
I agree
Oh
with
yeah.
that because I noticed certain strains are just a lot more contaminant resistant than others.
You know, like
I would say hardier. Like they just don't like what is it, the dancing tigers I had, like you could be dumbfoundedly stupid and grow those. It is
yeah,
not hard. They will grow on poop. Like I swear, you take LC of tigers and just squirt it directly into dirty cow shit and you'll get mushrooms.
Fuck yeah.
it's
So
hilarious. I've been seeing some of these cultivation TikToks. Like there was one where they took the spore print, then they swabbed the spore print, then they took
Okay.
the swab, shook it around in an LC jar, pretended
I
like they
saw that one.
clean LC, and then they were just shooting it straight at the core. And he's like, "Oh, look, I made mushrooms," and it's just like, you are full of shit.
I
I saw
know, and
that
I'm
one.
watching the same video and I'm like, wait, hold on, I've been fucking doing it wrong the entire time.
No.
Did
Yeah,
you
something
did
like
you see
that.
the
That's like
did you see
LC
the
directly from
cordyceps one?
I don't
This
know.
dude
Oh,
did it with cordyceps and maple water. Like you took like the maple water from the tree, you had like the maple syrup bag, got the maple water from the tree, and then made LC from the maple water, and then just normally with cordyceps you have to make like the nutrient broth and all that other shit. He didn't do that. He just straight took his other LC and expanded it inside of the maple water, and then just shot up rice and had got cordyceps.
You see these motherfuckers growing cordyceps off of eggs?
Oh
Yes,
yeah,
I did see that. That's fucking crazy.
Dave Wombat's doing that right now, I think.
oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh yeah, I need to hit him up. I need some more shirts.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Dude, he's
I know. It's
busy,
like trying to
and
get a hold
the
of the
poor dude got
folk with
got
him.
in car trouble.
Bless that man's heart. I love Dave Wombat.
I love him too, man. But like I said, he's hard to get a hold of.
He's a busy man.
Yeah, he is. He's very fucking busy. I just had one of his swabs that fucking had some bacteria. I think that was my fault though.
I want to get a hold of his PEA.
Don't worry, I'm growing it right now, and it is germinating. So I got you.
I
Hey, let's go.
I feel bad. I have his Yeti right here going, and I really hope that it takes off again because I grew out some tubs of it and I forgot to swab all of them, and that Yeti was super fire.
Fuck yeah.
My Yeti is
And yeah,
super squatty. I've seen so many like tall Yetis, and
his is tall. The one from Dave, it
yeah.
gets tall.
Oh shit. Does anybody notice the gods in here?
Oh, shut up.
He's here.
When
Caddy, your daddy's here.
It's not even funny.
I know I come in, you guys are talking about Yeti. I'm like, ooh, I like this conversation.
Oh yeah.
We were just about to stop for a quick public service announcement by your local fire department to change the batteries in your smoke, fire, and CO2 detectors.
Yeah, that's my fault. That's my fault. Sorry.
I love you.
Love you too,
Oh,
Caddy.
What up,
Yeah.
can't
Jake?
believe you said that. I recently ripped my fire alarm out the ceiling because it needs new batteries.
You just ripped it out.
Yeah, it's just sitting here in this basket next to my sab.
Who needs a smoke detector anyways, right?
Dude, it was
Yeah.
going off, and I was mad.
I'm just getting high and eating bananas.
I'm
Hey,
Anybody
visualizing that.
know how long Shakti takes to grow? Because this thing's like weird.
You got the blue mutant, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know how long. I have regular Shakti, and I don't know. It took like the standard amount of time, like 2-3 weeks, and it just
I
throws out a bunch of different phenos. It's kind of dope.
I, I started this tub on 510, and it's still going. I still haven't harvested it at all.
Damn.
Everything in here is still like super solid and rock hard. I don't know how long this grows for. And swabbing this looks like it's terrible.
Honestly, I think it goes for a long time because that blue ghost I have is a cross between that and long ghost, and man, it takes fucking forever.
Hey, Jick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
I want to know, how do you feel about like all these tat crosses that are like just proliferating right now? Like, what's your opinion on it? How do you feel?
I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Like, if people keep posting new stuff, and I'm like, does this have tat lineage in it? Because I don't even know. And they're like, yep, yep. Yep. Like I'm thankful. Like I'm happy people are using the genetics to make new crosses. Um, it keeps the tat name alive that much longer. Um, so yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
I can't keep up with that. Neither are.
At what
That's
point do you think we're going to start seeing things like PE6 happening?
What's happening with PE6?
What happened to it like 20 years ago where it died because people were fucking with it genetically? And then RR had to bring it back.
God, I
Yeah,
remember Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that kind of happened with B plus too. B plus for a while turned into like B bullshit. It got overworked.
Yeah, I'm getting worried about lots of genetics doing that because people are doing a little too much. I saw something the other day and it was just looked like a regular brown cube, and it's like you crossed APE with something else that looks really cool, but you're not showing any traits from either parent. So,
Oh, I'm
what are
worried
you
about
doing?
that with ape too. Ape's the other one that they're just you just sprinkle some ape in there.
Oh my god. Yeah. Everything is crossed with ape or PE, and it's just like, what are we doing here, guys? Can we get
Well,
a little more variety?
A
well,
big
people
problem
get
comes
kind of
from
weird at you if you do two brown cubes.
Yeah, because a big problem comes from is the things that we are crossing for is all visual. We don't have any other things like indicators to go off of except for, oh, this is a white mushroom that is turning blue, etc. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think it's kind of important. Michael Clay, he's kind of a historian, maybe. If you ever get a chance to talk to the dude, he's pretty fucking awesome. But he's preserving OG genetics, and like I don't know, dude's gonna be have a library of all the OGs, and we need to preserve them because as we keep fucking with shit, like you guys are saying, have you seen some of this stuff like Nutcracker's doing, Shakti's doing, even Ghost as it gets ran out starts getting really weird. You keep running it so long.
Mm-hmm. Well, people aren't going back to like the original So like I was always taught that, well, from what I learned was that you want to keep like a lot of early spores from your grows so that you can always go back to the earliest genetics.
What do you think
And
about
if you're
like back swabbing? Like if I grow a tub of the old F1 and the new F7 and then double swab, throw that down. Like no?
Yeah. And then you have like
I think it
I
would
don't know.
still I think you would then go back to F1. Like I think you could do I'm pretty sure you could do that, but it would just put you back to F1, I think, at that point.
Problem too is that spores eventually die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So stasis seems to be the way to keep things, like genetically speaking, at least. And I mean, I guess culturally, keeping the culture alive.
Also repetitive cloning. I know that's like the big bad one. Like we
Clones
get
for
all
But it's
cloning.
excited when you
like,
clone them.
I don't think
but
senescence
I
in
always see
cubes
this like
is
that
I don't know. I don't think it's as big of a deal as people talk about. Like you can clone and clone
I
and clone and
agree
clone and clone.
You're just running the p-value into the ground, really.
because like
What do you mean by
I
p
mean
value?
you
It's the thing that Paul mentioned a long time ago. It's like I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. It's like how many transfers, essentially, how much growth it's gone out. So like if you take it and you clone a clone, then you've already done a whole section of growing, and then if you clone that again, well, you're just repeating that cycle and making it older than it should be, if that makes sense.
They had like a graph on Streamery back in the day, I think, or like a chart. The P thing, it showed like a percentage on like if you clone something like 30 times, when you get down to the bottom, it's just like you're pretty much just cloning trash.
Yeah, but that's old shroomery shit though. Nobody back then had ever cloned anything thrice, let alone 30 times.
That's true.
Like Dave Wombat was saying, he grain to grain the same culture for 20 fucking years.
I I
yeah
I did the grain to grain for a full year. Had no problem.
yeah, and then you got stuff like Enigma, like all the blob cultures. You're not going back to spore with those, and Enigma's been around for how long now?
That one's getting
That's
overworked too.
interesting you bring that up because I have someone with a really curious issue, and I don't know what to tell him.
What is it, weak enigma? Because that's super common.
I sent him 5 different varieties of regular brown cubes, and every single one of them is producing Enigma-like fins.
Oh, that's cool.
Apparently,
I
so
do not
like
even
this,
have liquid culture of Enigma, I also want to say.
so apparently I've heard through the grapevine that there is a way to stress a culture out and force it to blob. But the online mushroom community being what it is, always likes to keep a little bit of secrets.
You just
There's always
spray,
some
it's
secret
jock itch
fight.
spray, dude. Spray some jock itch
Usually
spray
it's
on it.
not to that extent to where something is showing that many Enigma traits, if you know what I mean. Usually it's just
Mm-hmm.
small mutations, not full-blown Enigma growth.
Well,
Most of
with
the
We've
time, it
talked
is
about it,
just
a
one
long
one
time.
freak in the tub.
yeah, because like I just grew TBC out for the first time, and I got an Enigma blob in there. Um, Super surprised. I wasn't even expecting the tub to do anything, to be honest with you, because TBC is TBC. But I mean, the whole tub looks weird as fuck. But I got that Enigma blob, and I was like, woohoo!
But did
But
you clone
yeah,
it?
I'm going to. When I saw it, I was like, crap, I need to go pour agar because I didn't have any plates ready, and Now I have them ready. I've been lazy and I haven't gone to my grow space to go do that.
Just from my dosing experience with a lot of them, I've found a lot of the mutations are kind of hit and miss. Some of them are like super, like when they hit, like oh yeah, they hit. But some of them, like I had cloned this rose mutation and I was able to get roses in the tub to pop up, and I was like, oh cool, maybe I can consistently run this like Enigma or something. And after I dried the fruits and tried it, I'm like, wow, this is just kind of a letdown. I was
Yeah,
expecting it to hit too.
I've
Yo,
heard
are you
mixed
here?
I think on my next tub, I'm gonna mist with some Lysol and see what happens.
shit.
No, hit it with some like light antifungal. I was joking about this with a friend of mine, like hitting it with some jock itch spray or some athlete's foot spray.
Shit,
Just a
throw
tiny
throw
little.
some BTI on it.
Dude, just crop dust the tub.
Yeah, that'll work.
Does BTI fuck with cube mycelium?
I'm not sure, but it is the most widely used antifungal that's used in grain storage facilities and other places. So I'm not sure. I don't have. I've been trying to get like a culture of it that from like somewhere reputable that isn't just like, oh yeah, I have this bacteria on a plate, but
No,
I
because
want
I
a
dose.
legit culture that I can mess with.
I have. Well, I mean, I use BTI on my house plants because it controls gnats, and I kind of live in a jungle.
Yeah, it works great for that stuff, but I've never dumped it on a tub or anything like that. It would be interesting to try though.
What are you
Yo,
growing right now,
Pat.
Van? What have you been fucking with?
What's up?
What are you growing right now? You fucking with anything cool?
Half of the shit I can't pronounce, so I can't even tell you. Here, I'll add it to the chat because I literally can't pronounce it at all.
You growing exotics now?
Yeah, I'm working on lots of different stuff like that, different species of psilocybin. But I have to keep up with the business side of things, so I always got my regular queues going too. I'll put those in the chat.
Yo, I made my first cross. I was inspired by one of those tat talks that y'all were talking about taking a swab to two different fruits and how often it worked, and it fucking sure enough worked.
What'd you cross?
It's hillbilly and yeti.
Nice.
Oh shit. That's like Sasquatch or some shit, right?
You should call it skunk ape.
We're calling it hill yeti right now.
I've always thought that hillbilly would be a really good base genetic for a cross, because that's another one of those genetics that you can literally just spit in the tub and it's just like yummy.
Well, same with Yeti, dude. Anything
Yep.
crossed with Yeti is gonna fucking put your dick in the dirt.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just like you have a genetic like hillbilly that just it's prolific as hell, and then you cross it with something that punches you in the face like Yeti. It's just beautiful. I think that it would be a great cross.
This is the first round of it.
Hey, damn. Damn.
Coming out nice.
Those some big boys.
Holy shit, dude. Get back to us with the weight on that motherfucker. That's really a Sasquatch, though.
We had a
That is.
couple of really nice flushes of it yesterday. I'm doing some work with. It's a clear cross. They definitely crossed. There's a clear difference between the Yeti and the Hillbilly. That's why I chose those two genetics, and this is a clear collaboration of those two because the caps are doing what the Yeti caps did as far as the gills and the way that they're acting, but it's got the color and the stipes of the Hillbilly. So I mean, it's both of them pretty clear.
I feel like you can pull a culture from anything that shows different phenotypical expressions.
I bet those are spicy as fuck, though. Where was you in the cup, Metal?
I didn't, man. Not only do I have a lot on my plate, but I didn't know how or the rules or anything. So I was just like, I guess maybe next time. I support what you're doing though. I like the way that you're doing it above everybody else that I'm seeing doing it. Mostly because there was no incentivization other than a friendly competition to it. I kind of have an opinion about the cups that a buddy of mine in the cannabis industry uh, turned me on to this idea about the cannabis cup, and it translates to these mushroom cups that we're doing, and it's that these competitions kind of bring out the ugly side in cultivators where they want to hold their secrets to their chest, and then genetics start becoming much more pricey after they win these cups. You know, like you see people charging $600 for a pack of beans because they fucking won the cannabis cup, you know, and that's just fucking gonna happen to the mushroom community sooner or later if we keep going on about it. I feel like, but it's just like being proactive about it and making the right steps. I feel like
I
that
don't
maybe we
agree
can
with
be.
the cups at all. I think we have a similar view on that. I think it's silly and more of a marketing ploy than anything, especially with different labs. Like, I don't know if I even trust labs. I've been
It's good
considering
to have the
sending,
information. I
I've been
like the
considering
information part.
sending like my psilocybin as a resin to a lab and being like, yeah, these are GT. And then I want to see if they come back with regular old GT results or if it's going to be, off the fucking charts. And it's really sucks that I have to even think about that, you know?
I was thinking about that too. Like when we were talking about setting off our cup. Like, what would happen if somebody dried some shrooms and then soaked them in some very potent mushroom tea and then dried them again and sent them off for testing? Do you think that would amp the results? Just a
I feel like
thought
there'd be
I
too
had.
much degradation happening, and or once you soak that, it's gonna pull the alkaloids out
Right.
because it's so cold. But again, I don't know. I've never done that. Soaked in
I
mushroom
was just
tea.
stoked to find a lab that would like uh deal with a bunch of hobbyists. Like, we're not fucking
I like how
trying.
you did it anonymously too, where it
It
wouldn't
was
be
hard to
like.
pull that off. I was like, make a fake email and then email my fake email and then let's do this.
I really like how you did that though. I support it for sure.
Hopefully he's gonna work
I
with
wish I
us
could have
next spring,
participated.
dude, and we'll do it again. And especially because we actually had some success. I know that was most everybody was hesitant to like just send $100, but I don't know. Next year, I bet we get 100 people easy.
Mm-hmm.
How many
And
entries did you have?
we had almost 30 registrants, but I think only 22 samples actually got sent in. I actually didn't even send mine in, dude. It was $100. I couldn't afford it.
See, that's one thing I didn't like either is that I'd have to break lots of federal laws to even get a sample in, and I wish there was a place in my state, Michigan, that would do it. but most of the places I've contacted require Form DEA Form 222 to do anything like that, and they have to get it from some specific person, aka not some random dude calling them.
Yeah, you just you, I don't know. I was okay with sending it anonymously, fake address, fake everything. You know, I
A
guess
sample
the
and a
risk
number.
is the $100. You know, that was all I saw it as. I was like, well, if I lose $100, I lose $100. I did make sure I went to a post office that was older than dirt, where they just, oh, hello there, young man.
Dude, I mail so much shit to friends. Like, my local place just knows I do Etsy. Alright? That's. Just tell them you do Etsy. Alright?
You can put a little bit
See,
too much on
the
that.
chocolate bars or whatever, that's whatever going through the mail. That just looks like chocolate. But the actual whole fruit thing, I was a little nervous too.
Even chocolates, I don't trust it, man.
Well, you know, if someone steals them and eats them, God help them.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
And it'd be like that cop who ate them brownies and called 911 on himself. I think I'm dying.
No, but I'm really hoping dude wants to work with us next spring. We were kind of there was a lot of people that were very impatient and talking a lot of shit because it took a little while to do, all the testing on the samples. So I'm hoping homie still wants to work with us. But shout
Wasn't
out
there an
to
issue?
Trip Labs for sure.
Wasn't there an issue with other people basically talking shit?
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't even want to talk about that.
Drama,
Yeah, Michael
drama, drama,
drama.
drama.
Drama in the Michael community? No way.
It
Oh,
never
how dare!
happens.
Vendors,
Never.
Mm-hmm.
vendors
Never
mad
even.
at me? No.
You get a bunch of the guys who think they're smarter than everybody into the same community. No, never have a problem.
Mm-mm.
Vendors don't like me. That's a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I like you.
We're trying to start a movement here.
Well, it's hard when like a lot of vendors are very monetary based. Like I get it, like I want to make a buck too, just like everybody else does, you know. But it
What
gets almost to a point sometimes where people are like feels like they're like claiming territory.
what would Terrence McKenna say to you?
Mm-hmm.
Take it.
You'd be like, you're
you
robbing from the aliens,
you
man.
ready to shake his hand?
The only thing I feel like I have a mindset on with vendors is the ones that sell liquid cultures. But I just don't agree with that in any way, shape, or form.
I always
Yeah,
just
neither do
assume
I.
that's just piss in a syringe.
Yeah. My local tobacco shop just started selling liquid cultures, and it's like, there
Yep,
are tests
that's
out
why.
there that show they're illegal as fuck. You know that, right? Like, you're selling a Schedule 1 substance. You know that, right?
Yeah, the shops in the decriminalized zone up here, we're all in like talks and stuff and trying to work out the like legalness of it all because like I can't like legally sell it to them. I'm like donating it to them, and then
Well,
they're the
here in
ones.
Colorado, where it's legal to cultivate, are we allowed to sell LC here now? They're really gray about it all. Like the mushroom itself is legal. Is the LC legal? I'm assuming so.
If the
I would
mushroom
definitely
is
check the law
legal,
on it.
then yeah, if the mushroom is like, aka the compounds that are in it, then definitely liquid cultures would be legal. But like, as for my
Right, because
state, it's
that's what
totally
makes it
illegal
illegal,
to
right?
sell that shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Well,
fucked up.
I do know that Colorado was the first state to release a lot of like regulatory stuff. So, like example, you can't have like solvents in the same building as like a cultivation site. Like you can't have any sort of precursors in a cultivation site. They just don't want you making other stuff. you know, but I know they have like a bunch of other laws with the Colorado thing now.
I'd be
They probably
interested
allow
to read
liquid
their laws.
culture. I don't see why they wouldn't allow liquid culture.
No, as long as it's decriminalized, fuck it.
Yeah.
You think that's cheating or like I don't know?
Yes.
If it's
100%.
well,
100%.
100%.
I've been growing for 12 years, man. That shit is cheating.
is okay,
You
okay.
get,
Is that
and
just
especially for the person selling it. I swear to God, there's these guys out here giving all these courses on how to teaching you how to grow, and they sell you they sell you this whole fucking scheme, and they give you a liquid culture of a beautiful fruiting fucking culture. And then they give you all the steps to do it. You grow it out, and you think that you've done a great job, but no, it was all the fucking the genetics of the LC.
Yep.
Exactly. 100% cheating.
What's even worse is that like you can't really trust a lot of these shops because I'm like, dude, do you even care for this LC? Like, are you even working with this LC, or are you just buying a bunch of LC and then filling jars and then you're like, cool, I got 20 things now.
like them
Yeah,
dudes
no,
Start
on
that's
filling
spore
exactly what
syringes.
swaps? Like them dudes
Yep.
on spore swaps, just like you know, they buy a fucking T1 plate from somebody, turn it into liquid culture. Now they're slanging fucking syringes.
Yep.
And another problem
The spore game is
another
like that
problem I
too.
see is that like people don't flip stabilized things, but they say it's stable. I have an issue with that as well. And like,
Nothing's
I'm
stable.
sorry, but if you run something one time, it's not gonna keep that repeatedly unless it's a liquid culture. And then when people do try to, recreate that, in F2, well, you're not gonna get anything that looks similar. Starry Night, for example.
I heard that was like a big old letdown.
It was a fucking scam, dude.
It was.
This is blood down for me.
Starry Night, I mean, it's just Southwest PE, man, or Sporeworks PE. I don't know why I said Southwest.
Yeah. No, that's Sportworks PE has always been doing that. I don't understand the hype behind Starry Night.
Because somebody
It just
cloned a
reminds me
really
of what
dark
Keeper
one.
did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And
No,
now we
my
have Blue Meanie Cubensis instead of Paniolus Blue Meanies, which is like the most logical thing in the world. But now we have to deal with, oh man, are these cubes or pans? And it's like, well, it's a cube, but it's only because this guy Keeper renamed a random brown cube 20 years ago, and now it's so ingrained into the culture. What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Well, that's the hard thing with like common names. Like the example, the word pine mushroom. The pine mushroom can refer to like a big blanket of different mushrooms, just like blue meanie, you know.
Yeah, I suppose. Same thing with like beefsteak. I've gotten in an argument once or twice about beefsteak mushrooms.
Mm-hmm.
And tomatoes.
Oh yeah,
Some good tomatoes though. Let's be honest.
they're just
So do,
juicier.
Uh, I
is
was
there a
reading about.
difference between Zinfandel grapes and Concord grapes, or are they the same thing?
Hmm,
They got the same texture.
I don't know. There's probably like some micro difference. It's what's gonna happen with mushrooms. You know, there's gonna be like everyone who has like a thing, and it's gonna be like, oh, is this tat different than this tat?
Well, yeah. What's
Yeah,
the difference between Tat and Ghost?
quite a bit.
It's the same. It's if you look at the tat tree, like is if so if you take any of the tat genetics and it's not crossed with something, it's just tat.
Yeah.
Even if it's like whatever isolation or whatever, it could still revert back to just being tat eventually.
Yeah, it could. Yeah. Like isolated a morphology to make them look completely different, and
I
some
will say
potency
that
came along with that.
morphology does play a big role because like I've noticed that like if things look a certain way, most of the time it's because they are potent, you know.
Yeah.
Comes into another issue too is a lot of things like mutations and stuff are environmentally caused and not due to genetics, and that can come from people just being noobs and not knowing how to grow and having shitty conditions, and then they get something cool and then send it off and sell it or whatever the hell they do with it.
That
Happens a lot more than I'd like to admit.
that's
And
something I
I
want
kind of
to.
wondered that too with like when I first grew ape, if it was just the genetics sucked and was the reason why I got little tic tac fruits, or if like when I eventually got the dark side clone that I got, like was it just luck of the draw, you know?
I've been thinking a lot lately about is this a mutation or is this actually a genetic disease? And are we carrying on a genetic disease for this mutation or is it actually a mutation?
I've wondered that with some of the blobs that are going around.
Thinking that about the AMVP snails. I don't know if that's
Just making me sad.
really how they grow, or if they, if that's a real mutation. But I mean, it's repeated, so I don't think it's bacterial or anything like that.
Well, if it's repeated from a clone, you cloned over the same material. So if there is a bacterial infection, it would have came with the clone.
Well, it repeated with a spore, from spore, so I
Oh, okay.
figure it should be good. But
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna keep on running it and see if it keeps coming out that way.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds genetic.
I still can't believe the texture on those things. It's fucking. It's a sign.
Dude, it's crazy.
Dude, so
Yo, so
Flipper, you were like a con hair away from number one.
Just
Yeah.
a smidgen booty hole away from number one.
Yeah. And the Bayo, however you spell it, that was number one.
Dude, I
I
can't
hate
wait.
that. I hate that word. Stacy's or
It's like
Stacy's.
Baosystin, right?
It makes it sound like it's a cyst.
None of us are scientists. We're just
I just think
cultivators.
of like pus.
Hey man, as long as you can
I'm a
spell it
food
right,
farmer, thank
it
you.
doesn't matter if you can say it.
Yeah,
that
that's
means you
true.
read it.
That means I use copy paste correctly.
Or
I
you can just
cannot spell it
find
either.
someone who pronounces it and then just kind of mimic them. Like I'd totally go off of how Alan says ovoid. It's ovoid cystidiatum, but I don't have my own pronunciation of that.
It's like
I didn't say it. Alan said it.
I couldn't believe when somebody told me it wasn't pronounced agar.
Oh, Agar,
Yeah, no, it's agar.
Agar,
Agar. Agar.
Agar.
Yes, we will
The
discuss this till the end of
the
time.
Midwesterners and their Agar.
Agar.
Is it though? Right? Agar?
I call it Agar.
That's just how I say
I
it.
don't know if I'm right, but that's what I say, and it's
What
right in my
does
head.
what does Wikipedia Talk to Speak say? I'll just do that.
There you go.
Tomato.
Tomato.
Yeah.
That's right. I'm just growing tomatoes. Woo! I love hearing it tear up from the sub when you twist it.
So I have a ton of a Black Hawk albino coming up again, and it's all
Nice.
like 2 inches tall, and they're mean,
Oh.
dude.
Little shorties.
I got some toke. Anybody else growing toke right now?
Toque.
Yes.
Toque.
Yeah.
Is it toke?
Yeah. That's the Canadian word for a beanie is toque.
Well, mine,
The Spore Master 5000.
Can't take Canadians seriously. They're pointed called Looney Tunes, bro.
What that Aper Angel OG?
oh man,
Damn it! How did I harvest
I'm actually
this?
growing a shitload of Aper Angel right now. And they're gorgeous. Like that's
I'm
the
done harvesting
whitest
some.
white I've ever seen. Like they're the whitest fruit ever. Dookie's
They're
onto
looking
something
good,
with
huh?
those.
I know he fucking put a lot of love into those, and it shows.
Oh yeah.
I got this fucking octadick thing going on in this tub, and I can't. Come on now. Just wiggle it. Ugh.
I got a picture of those.
I feel bad when I scar the sub so much.
See who's got something cool coming up that nobody else has. Oh, Hesh is here. This chick took like what? Third place? Second? Yeah, third and fourth? What up, Hesh?
Ash took number one.
Putting her on the spot. Ash did take number one.
Oh, Hesh.
Yeah,
I just posted my nightmare quarter in the chat. That's if anybody's got an idea besides some type of contamination, I'd love to hear it.
Where are you getting this core from?
It's Canna quarter.
No.
That looks bad, Mom.
Oh yeah, it's fucked. Even after I steamed it, well, I didn't steam that block. That block
Oh,
I tossed. I steamed another block and it got worse. And I don't even know.
I'm gonna put this shit.
That nightmare shit that people don't want.
These are some chunky clusters, bruh.
I don't want to like plug corporations or nothing, but Cocoa Bliss, dude. Like, that's the best shit ever.
That's
Yeah,
Canna
them
brand?
and Canna. Yeah, that's Canna, the one I posted. And also, Cocoa Bliss is badass. They're on par with Canna for sure.
Never use black gold. That's the worst one.
Shit?
That one would like. I was so mad. I just made buckets of contam. Harvest side pin from Hades.
Don't use poop.
I'm just
man.
annoyed that I've been steaming my quarter and nobody else is ever having this problem like this.
I can't wait to try this isolation.
Shit, guys, we're like hella slowing down, so I'm gonna probably cut the recording because this is boring. So like, say goodnight and shit. What up, Zach?
What up? What up? Yeah, I had a few questions, but I got fucking baked. Yeah. So
Typical Zach.
yeah. So I was reading about how PE was like isolated, right? And they basically what they did was they got this weird colony that was only giving aborts, and one of them aborts got like really blue and black, so they assumed it's gonna be super strong, and it got worked over and over again, and then they kept on going back to the original culture, and they finally got this was really bad at sporulating until the next 30 to 40 years that at least those genetics won't sporulate. Like, I think that's why Melmac got like really popular because it was like PE that was sporulating and keeping the potency. So, do you ever see Stat maybe doing something like that? Like one day just get a ghost that starts sporulating and it's albino.
It definitely happened. To say something like that couldn't happen would just be statistically ridiculous.
Yeah, and I know a few folks that have grown albinos and have those fruits and throw those spores, like ejecting the spores.
Ejecting pigmented spores?
Nope, albinos.
That's cool.
So how are they seeing the albino spores?
It looks like a weird film at first, so they thought it was moldy, and once it was thrown on on foil, it did leave this very foggy print.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of folks do know this person. It's Aloysius or Alan Oils. He's one of the admins at
Oh,
Mohammed's lab.
Yeah, I don't.
Aloysius.
Yeah,
Oh, oh, yeah. I think I know who that is.
Noisy. I had thought
Yeah.
they there's this matte black aluminum foil. They use it in lighting, like stage lighting. It's called cinefoil, and I've always wanted to try to print an albino on it because it's super black, like ultra black. So you'd probably be able to see it in the right light. And I've always wanted to try it, but it's really expensive.
yeah, yeah. Maybe that would help. Also, the early super OGPEs, not only were they not ejecting spores, they were also a lot of the spores weren't usable, like they weren't mature and stuff. Did you face a similar problem to that when you were first swabbing tat, or any phenos that were giving a lot of immature spores on the gills?
I think we lost Jake.
Oh shit!
But
And I got to the
they
part.
did though, like with Tap Black Cap, it didn't spore much at all.
Yeah. So did it not spore, or did it spore and but the spores were not usable?
That I couldn't tell you, man.
Oh shit. I also wanted to ask Hash about his entire journey with the gene pool and how it started and how he got introduced to the gene pool and how's it going?
The journey's been good so far. Uh, let's see. Where did I meet everybody? I think I'm pretty sure I met Cad through the Shroomery. Just messing around. That's where I started my whole Discord journey. I guess is the Shroomery was the first place I went to. Um, and what was that guy's name? Syzygy, something like that. I remember he invited me to a smaller Discord, and that's where everybody was.
Oh
Sleepy Panda
damn.
was there, Cab, Dookie, and eventually made it to the gene pool. I don't know how. I don't know when it was around, but there was already a bunch of people in it when I joined.
What were you working on before joining the gene pool?
Um, I ran a lot of. I was working with a group of people, and I was running a lot of aviaries. That's pretty much all they ran, and I fucking hate aviaries. I'm so tired of them. Um, and we eventually like branched off and ran other genetics. I was running Ghost for a while, um, Ape, but my Ape died. I wish I could come back. Um, and I would say maybe about a year and a half ago, a little bit longer, I just decided to go off on my own and then just start working.
Yeah, damn. What was the first cube you cultivated, and how was your early agar practices?
Uh, the first time I did agar, I bought a pre-mixed agar from Fungi Perfecti. I think that's Paul Stamets' brand. And I bought his pre-mixed agar. And I remember that it was easy. You just it's already mixed, so you put whatever amount you need, and then water, and then cook it. And yeah, that was it. And I guess when I started actually making agar, it was so much easier. It was a lot cheaper too. Yeah, I just followed recipes that I found online until I eventually, came across one. You tweak it, like you remove a gram here, you add a gram there, and eventually came across one uh, that worked, and I just stuck with it. It's not. I don't think it's even that far off from what people recommend. Is it 2020, 20 agar and 20 uh, LME?
Mm-hmm.
But I found that if you do less nutrient, less sugar, it tends to do a lot better on the plate.
Like less sugar?
Yeah, well, less than the 20 recommended. That's sort of where I started, and then I just you know, the next time I would make agar, I would drop it by a gram until I settled on like 13 or 14, and now I just have a scoop that's usually just about that amount, and I just take a scoop and dump it in my water, and get to cooking.
Oh, damn. What about the cube? The first cube you cultivated?
The first one I ever did was Golden Teacher that I got from Premium Spores, and it didn't do well at all. I remember I grew it in a foil pan, and then I stuck, like one of those catering pans that you get food in, and I stuck the
Yep.
pan inside of a tub. It didn't do well at all. I got maybe like a handful of fruits. But how I really cut my teeth was, like I said, I was working with a group of friends, and we ran a lot of aviaries. And after doing so many, you just kind of figure out, okay, well, you should be this thick. You should mix it this way, that sort of thing.
Oh, shit. Hey, Kat, I heard you getting some heat for growing aviaries for being too weak. What was that?
Me growing Averys that are too weak.
Yeah. Um. I remember, or maybe I was just tripping
No,
balls. Who
that
knows?
was me. I did grow some Averys that were way too weak. They're
Damn.
They're mids. If you
yeah,
ask me, I
they
don't
are
like
mids. They're
aviaries.
gorgeous though. I think
Oh yeah, they are.
I don't know. I think maybe a better culture. Like
How was
Call had
how?
that blue scaria, which I guess there's a couple of blue scarias out there, but he had this culture at Avery's called blue scaria that was actually fucking pretty killer.
Damn. How was your beginning with mycology? Like, who introduced you to mycology, and what made you start the gene pool?
I'm not ready for that. Like I plead the fifth.
You plead the fifth. Damn. Good thing
No,
I'm not.
not today, dude. I'm not important. I'm a ghost.
Alrighty, alrighty. I respect that. What got you into mycology, Ash?
The pandemic. um, the first time I grew, it was like right before, it was like maybe 6 months before the pandemic, like earlier that year or the year before, and it was just for fun, and I was just you know decide, okay, I'm bored, let's try this, and I did it, and then it was really okay, well, I might as well give this a try and see where it takes me, and I I had a lot of fun with it. Like I enjoyed it. I started doing uh, all the prep work that you do, even like cleaning tubs. I just
We're losing you, dude. Your connection's
Yeah.
cutting out hard. And he just told us a lot of really interesting stuff too, and you missed it.
Yeah.
Sack, what time is it there?
It's 7:56.
In the morning?
Yeah, folks are going to the office, and I'm here smoking joints.
Same, bro.
Hell, fuck yeah. Yeah, I missed out on a lot. Fucking, I don't know what the fuck happened with my internet.
Am I
Damn.
breaking up again?
Yeah, you're good now, dude.
Okay.
We missed your like
Oh, I thought
whole.
Yeah, the internet over here sucks. I mean, I'm over here in like Silicon Valley, and it's fucking like our internet is the worst.
damn.
Dude, so I'm stoked. I'm on F5 of Phantom right now. I have 100 pairs of F4. I have 100 pairs of F3, and I don't know, I'm ready to like do some girl along shit. But I'm waiting for Hash. He's gonna drop his fucking Ghostface. Like we should like do this dope ass winter thing where we grow a bunch of shit.
Dude, I'm collecting spores, but I'm like kind of scared because I have this one tub. Well, I have more tubs that I'm gonna put in this week, but the tub that I have right now, uh, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get spores off of it on the first flush fruits because I haven't had luck getting spores on the first flush fruits the last times. So I'm hoping that I can get some. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a whole bunch of swabs when I get to harvesting this tub and just test out like 5% of them just to make sure that they all germinate.
Nice.
So I'll take like 100 and then I'll test five. But I mean, I hope it turns out like I really want to get it out to everybody. Um,
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gonna
I
be
think
fun
it's really
as hell.
cool.
Yeah, the journey with Ghostface has been amazing. Like, you remember how a lot of the folks had mixed opinions on the potency since it wasn't bluing very aggressively.
Right.
Yeah, but then we got them those results. Let's fucking go.
Isn't that supposed to be? I know that I've heard that bluing means that the psilocybin is leaving, right? It's
Mm,
oxidizing. So I mean I don't know if not seeing blue means that it's staying in there. I don't know. I'm not
I
sure what
mean,
that all means.
That's a hard
no
one,
expert.
man. Because some of the shit I've seen blue, like super hard, will really fuck you up. But at the same time, I've seen stuff that doesn't bruise at all that will really fuck you up.
Yeah,
There-
yeah.
yeah.
Especially,
Pearly Gates was like that for me. It didn't really blue too much, but it was pretty potent.
well, same with like rusty whites and Averys. I mean, Averys are kind of mild
Oh, Avery.
to begin with, but they don't really bruise up that bad.
I guess the thing I don't like about Avery's is like in order to see their full potential, you have to let them curl out. And when they dry up, those gills, man, they
They
flake
turn to
and
powder,
they get
yeah.
everywhere.
That was the same with like the albino Normac, and same with like I hate to say Jack Frost, dude. Like it's gorgeous,
Yeah,
but it turns to powder in a bag, and womp womp.
yeah,
Jack Frost's like shaving cream when you try to harvest it. So like just wet.
yeah. When I
My
ran Jack Frost, it, I remember only a few of them turned blue. I didn't get a whole lot of bluing gills, and I let them get really soft. It was almost impossible to harvest it cleanly. I remember I messed up the surface so bad. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna throw this whole thing away. It's not gonna grow back.
My albino Normac looked better than my Jack Frost. Like it was so good. It was like blue and gray, and it was pretty rad. But that one too just turned to powder.
damn.
You know what's a good culture that doesn't really, at least one that I've grown is the DC Maximos. They didn't really bruise either inside, but man, they're pretty strong. when I tried them, they were really strong, and the people I've heard try them too, they say they were really strong.
The ones that I've cultivated, Wombat Tat was great, but now all I have is Nutcracker, and boy, does it crack my nuts.
I was scared of it, dude. I didn't eat no nutcracker. None at all, dude.
I got two phenos that once they're dried. There are ones that keep the color. There are the other ones whose caps turn super orange once they're dried, and those are nasty. God damn it! So you get shot. You're like, well, see you later, I guess.
What
But
about
yeah,
you, Zach? What's your favorite one that you've done?
um, I've had Golden Creature, which was very strong compared to having a pigmented cap and being as close to Golden Teacher as it can. Um, it was fairly strong. Wombat Ad was very smooth. It was very visually, and it was also very like it was a smooth trip. Wombat Ad is amazing for tripping. Nutcracker is just it's it's like you gotta like take out the time to take it. It's no joke. It's like it really fucks you
Uh,
up.
You get
I
like body aches on Nutcracker? So
huh?
yeah, like when I took Nutcracker, I was getting like cramps like all over, and I hydrated plenty. Like, but it was just like it was weird. Like I was just getting pains all over. I was like, no, I'm not fucking with this anymore.
Yeah, I have to take a huge amount of nutcrackers to get the visual stimuli activated, but the trippy part is still very the heavy bodiness is still similar to every other cube. It's just it's it's an interesting cube. I don't know why it does that. It really gets me down.
A ton of phenotypes for me too, like all kinds of crazy cool and stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of the folks that have had it have like similar reviews that these folks aren't connected at all completely, but they're like, these nutcrackers are getting us super sad. I was like, well, you should have gone to therapy before those.
Mhm.
But yeah, they're pretty strong. There's a friend of mine that went from Pakistan to Australia, and apparently it's sub season there, and he's like, boy, are these strong? And I was like, yeah. So
That's a thing too. The mushrooms that make you sad.
yeah, I mean, I, I kind of relate with them because I've cried so much on mushrooms, but at the end, it's just like, oh, I cried. Now I'm happier. He life. That kind of
Same.
like depression simulation is like, yeah, life sucks, doesn't it? Yeah, it's like if I do Nutcracker, I have to like chug a bottle down the next day to process the procession that was going on. But yeah, I got some Amex going. I'm really stoked for them. Dave's a really fucking nice person. I just let Dave know that I love his Amex, and then I bought some other stuff from him. But he sent the Amex for free in anyway. And what the fuck? And early case had and so much shit. Dave gave me so much shit. I just bought two swaps. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I can work on. But yeah. Mm. Oh, Hash, you've grown a lot of Dave's stuff, right?
I've Jack Frost. I'm not sure what else is his. Is KSAT his? I've grown KSAT.
Yeah. KSAT says I think AMVP is his too. Not sure.
Oh, nice.
Damn. What are the top three cube strains that you would recommend to anyone beginning or anyone who's like seasoned, I guess?
Well, one of my favorite strains to eat personally is albino Burma. I think they're
Albino,
very visual.
that.
Um, they're just hard to grow. I guess maybe it's my culture, but they every time I've eaten them, I always see everything turns into like Tron. the movie Tron. Like there's like like everything looks like lasers. It's crazy.
Yeah, I fucking need. I gotta get some Burma. A good friend of mine has Burmese ancestry.
I'm totally gonna need a pair of those swabs, dude.
Oh, dude, they're
So,
crazy. I actually, you know what? It's actually nice that I mentioned it because I have a couple tubs of them going. They haven't pinned yet, but yeah, I should have swabs of those soon.
yeah, hell yeah, man. Let's fucking go.
We'll share
I'm
them
struggling.
around.
Hans fucking thing came. Do you know he sent a fucking slab with a good fucking detailed picture of Ghost, and the customers were like, you know what? There's a blue mushroom in here. It's good. The other ones, however, that are clearly grandmas from other countries, well, those are not good. But the one with the naked lady and the ghost picture, yeah, that's fine. You know what? Let him have it. Yeah, Johan's a real one. I was like, yeah, free stuff you can, and he fucking did.
Johan is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does some really nice stuff.
Yeah, Johan's amazing. Johan and I talk a lot. Oh shit, I just dropped my hash in Coke. Coke as in Coca-Cola. But like,
Another one I really like is Goliath. Goliath penis envy. Every time I eat it, it seems like everything turns golden. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just me. But when I eat it, everything feels like there's a golden tint to everything.
nice. I the most visual stimulant strains I've had. I was I was really not in support of the theory that the alkaloids have an effect of what kind of trip you would have, and the person that I drove with here, um, uh, they were really persistent that hey, it does make a difference, and I'm like, nah, it's probably how my body is and what I ate that day, and
Hmm.
what's going on that may be adding to the fact. But he was like, no, you gotta try it. There's no specific study for it, or like there's not real evidence out there, but there's enough folks that agree with it. And I was like, no, it's probably something similar to the wood lover's paralysis, where it could be a misdiagnosis because of a misdosage because they're fucking strong. But I did try a few strains, and I was like, maybe you might be right. I don't know. So it's not, I prefer to uh, believe that it doesn't have like a hand in the fact. But I still, if there's anybody who'd ask me, do they make a difference? I'd say personally yes, but I can't say for sure for sure. But yeah, personally, health fucking yeah, they fucking do make a difference.
Well, you have to eat the same variety multiple times to really have a test, right?
Yeah, with Nutcracker, it's like, welcome to Planet Sadness. You won't cry, but you would be very, very sad. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do to you? Like, I've tried vet. I did 10 grams of vet aborts. Very sad. I did 2 grams of rat. Very sad. I did 1 gram of rat. Very, very sad. Then again, it's very useful, insightful, sad stuff.
It's one of those that's crazy too. I mean, it's a different trip. Um, Enigma is the only one I've had where it seems to come in waves. So it comes back. Usually with other varieties, I eat them and it shoots you up there, and then you kind of just coast back down. But with Enigma, it's kind of a roller coaster. Like you go up and down and up and down. It's a crazy trip.